Hey everybody, Katherine Reay here at the 10-Minute Book Talk, and we are so excited to have you with us today. I am joined by my co-host, Marie Bostwick, and I'm gesturing like, you know where she is on my screen.
I waved.
Or summer.
And Rachel Linden. And today we're just so honored to host Renee Rosen and her book that's coming out on April 25th, Fifth Avenue Glamour Girl. And I've got it pre-ordered.
Oh,
and I cannot wait for it. Fabulous cover. Renee and I have known each other for a decade now, Renee.
You're right.
Yes, we met at Between the Covers in Harbor Springs.
In Michigan.
I know.
Yep.
So fun. Anyway, we're both in the Chicago area, and yet we never see each other in the Chicago area because unfortunately that is what life is like. But we are here today. And Renee, please share with everybody here it is again, everybody, Fifth Avenue Glamour Girl is about.
Well, thanks so much for inviting me to join you all today. So Fifth Avenue Glamour Girl is the story of the rise of Estée Lauder through the makeup industry. And Estée Lauder was a really fascinating woman. And just like makeup, covers all of our flaws and, all that, Estée was covering up a lot of stuff. And I'm not going to give any spoilers away. But, just as we use makeup to sort of alter our appearance, she did some doctoring to her own facade. And the book opens up in New York in 1930s during the Depression, when a young Estée Lauder is making face creams and lotions out of her Upper West Side apartment. And then she takes them to beauty shops all throughout Manhattan and starts hawking her wares. And it's in one of those beauty shops that she meets and befriends this young woman, Gloria Downing, who is in need of a total life makeover. And Estée is just the person to do it. And it's a story of friendship. It's a story about women's ambitions and how we transform ourselves and the meaning of being our authentic selves. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
I love that. Big topics. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, what drew you? I mean, honestly, you went straight for an American icon. What drew you to Estée Lauder initially?
Yeah, so I had just finished The Social Graces, which was my previous book. And the next question is, what next? What are you going to write next? I had no idea. And a friend of mine had just filmed Ronald Lauder, who was Estée's youngest son. And she said, Estée's a really fascinating, complicated woman. You should look into her. And it was literally one Google search. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in. She was just so complicated and, just this big name, and probably the biggest name I've tackled in my work. And I just found her fascinating.
I love it.
Yeah.
So how did you do your research? And in the course of your research, was there anything, what was the most surprising thing that came up, or something that you were just like, oh my gosh, that, one of those nuggets?
Yeah. So, I always start my research with reading whatever I can. And, oh God, one thing though was there was this woman, Lee Israel. If anybody ever saw the movie, Can You Ever Forgive Me? Which Melissa McCarthy starred in, about a biographer who was forging literary letters.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Lee Israel did an unauthorized biography on Estée Lauder called Before the Magic. And that was kind of my jumping off point, because she revealed all kinds of things that that Estée then had to counter and turn around and write her own book called A Success Story.
Goodness.
So I'm sorry, my phone is like blowing up over here. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Estée wrote another book called A Success Story to sort of do some damage control and get out in front of Lee Israel. So it was sort of this rush to publication, whose book was going to come out first. And Estée did beat her. But one of the things about surprising, so I always start with reading, and then I spoke with friends and other people who had worked in the cosmetic industry. I spoke to a gentleman who had worked at Dior, when it first started. And he was telling me, yeah, all the men walked around with nail polish on, we were trying to sell our goods, and that was not fashionable for a man to do, back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, whenever. But one of the things that really surprised me was some of the ingredients that were commonly used in our cosmetics back in those days. I mean, things like nail slime, because that made your lacquer more shiny, fat excrement, mercury, I mean, just crazy, wacky stuff. So that was a surprise.
It is. I'm surprised.
Yeah, and not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way at all. Wow. Okay. You know what? My to be read pile just keeps getting bigger and bigger because I'm going to need to pre-order this too. So excited. April 26th, is that the date?
25th, April 25th.
April 25th. Okay, guys, if you order it now, you'll have it in time. So I can't wait to read for this. But I just want to know, like, what are you hoping the takeaway is from this book? When readers finish, what do you want them to know or feel that they didn't when they started?
I think Estée's greatest strength was her ability to sort of visualize her future and what she wanted it to be like. And she designed her life to order. And I think that I would like readers to feel inspired. If there's a dream that they have, whether it's, I want to write a novel, I want to get a novel published, I want to take up archery, I don't know, whatever it is that the rest of the world is saying, no, you can't do that. You're too old, you're too this, you're too that. Estée broke down all those barriers, and she had a goal, and she was so determined, and she was not going to stop until she reached it. And I hope that inspires people to go after their own dreams. So
that seems like a pretty good reason to write a book.
That's a great reason to write a book. Okay, so we end this show with one question, and I bet you've got a great answer to it. Renee, what is bringing you joy today?
Today, right here in this moment, is the support I feel from my fellow authors. Everybody has been, I just feel so blessed for the friendships that I've made, and new friendships I continue to form as a result of just the support. I feel like we all really support each other, and that brings me a lot of joy. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. We're delighted to have you, and we're so excited about your new book.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. All right, everybody, you have a few days left to pre-order this glorious book, Fifth Avenue Glamour Girl. So hop to it. And Renee, thank you so much for joining us today. All the best with this story. I have to tell you, I've read all your books, and they just get better and better.
Oh, thank you.
You were just top of your game here, and this is really exciting. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.